very good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you're all doing good and also listening to the online classes. Okay, till now we have finished 4 units and now we are going to enter into the next unit and we are going to deal with the 7th unit, which is called as the animal behavior. Okay, so before getting into that unit, okay, let's see some of the important things which we are going to learn from that lesson or from this chapter. Okay, so now there are some questions in my mind, and the same kind of questions definitely they will be with you. So butterfly, they will search for the nectar. Now who told butterfly that there is nectar in the flowers? How they know that? Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, who has taught the fishes to swim? Right, the very next answer is nobody has taught it, but how they swim, that is the question. Next is, how birds know how to build a nest, and how ants will search their food. Even though you put the things in the or sweet or something jaggery in some nicely packed dishes and vessels and all, containers and all, but still they are able to search them and they will get into that boxes. How do they know that there is food over here or in these containers? So there are numerous questions which we cannot answer. And who has taught you to remove your hand when you touch a hot object? When you touch a hot object, you immediately remove your hand. Who taught you that? So there are several questions in our minds and all these questions need to be answered. So in this lesson, which is called as animal behavior, we will try to understand these kind of questions and what kind of behavior, right, and how animals behave in a specific way. That is all. And also their patterns of the behavior, the types of the behavior. So all these things, and also what are the factors which are affecting their behavior. So all these things we are going to see in this particular unit, which is called as animal behavior. So first of all, we'll try to understand what is animal behavior. What is animal behavior? So here, animal behavior can be said as it is a scientific study. It is a scientific study of the wild and wonderful ways in which the animals interact with each other, and they interact with the other animals and also interact with the environment. So here, what is animal behavior? What is animal behavior? So here, the animal behavior it is a scientific study of the wild and the wonderful ways by which the animals will try to interact with each other, with their own species, between own species, and also interact with the other animals, and also their interaction with the environment. So all these together comes under the animal behavior. So that is what we are going to study. We are going to study the interaction of the animals with each other, with other animals, and also with the environment. That contributes the animal behavior. This animal behavior also explores something. Here you can see that it explores then how these animals are related to their physical environment, how they live in their environment, how they are habituated to live in their environment. Okay, and also it includes how they will find the resources, how the animals will find the resources. So resources may be food, resources may be water, resources may be shelter, whatever you take, all these are the resources. And now how they will find the resources. And next is how they will defend their resources. For example, if a bird has built a nest, it has to defend its nest. So it has to defend from the predators. So many predators will come. So many animals which are depending on those animals will come to eat them, or will try to hunt them, will try to destroy their nests, destroy their shelter. So how they will avoid all those things. That is what is the animal behavior. And also animal behavior helps us to know how they will choose their mates, their friends. Okay, and also how how they have to reproduce, and also how if they reproduce their young ones, and how to take care of their young ones. So all these things we are going to study in this animal behavior. So here, what is animal behavior? It is a scientific study, and also it's a wild and wonderful way to know how an animal interact with each other, okay, among their own species and with the other animals, and also with the environment. Okay, this animal behavior explores and makes us know how these animals are related to their physical environment, or the environment which they are living in, their surroundings, their habitat. Okay, and how they will find the resources, what are the ways they will find the resources, and how they will also defend the resources, how they will fight for their resources. They have to fight to protect their resources. So how it is done, and also to avoid the predators. Predators are those organisms which depend upon the other organisms. Okay, for example, if you take a small insect, usually the bird will be the predator, because bird will eat the insect. So the bird has to protect, so the insect has to protect itself from the bird. Another bird like hawk will be the predator of the other small birds. So these small birds have to protect themselves from the hawks. Okay, there are eagles, the chicks will be there, right? The eagles will be hunting the chicks, and chicks has to protect themselves from the eagles. So that is how each and every animal has to protect themselves, right? Isn't it? So that is how they will protect themselves. That is what we are going to learn in this animal behavior, and how they choose their mates, how they choose their friends, how they reproduce, and how they take care of their young ones. All these things we are going to study in the animal behavior. So the study of the animal behavior begins with the understanding of the physiology and anatomy of the animal. Here we can very easily see that animals' external features and as well as the internal features, they are related to the animal's behavior. It is most important that how they respond to the external stimuli and also internal stimuli. So now what is stimulus? What is stimulus and what is response? That is what we have to learn first before going to this topic. So here, for example, if you see a snake, some kind of fear causes in your mind. That is, stimulus is the fear. The snake is the stimulus, or the fear which is caused because of the snake is your stimulus, and immediately what is your response? Either you will take a stick and kill it, or else you will run from there. That is your response. If snake is a stimulus, if the fear which is caused is a stimulus, the way you respond to the stimulus is whether you run away or whether you stay there and you fight. When you're going on the road, suddenly a dog barks at you. So the stimulus is the dog now, or the fear which is caused because of the dog, and your response, whether you're going to stay there, you're going to frighten the dog away, or you run away from there, or you go across the dog and not harming the dog, and I'll just go on your way. So it all depends on you how you will respond. Now when you come to the animals, the way they respond is completely different. So how they will respond to the stimulus, how they will know the stimuli, right? So for example, smell. Sometimes in the forest burns, the smell of the smoke will intimate these animals, and immediately they will know that there is some kind of danger in the forest, so they will try to run away from that particular situation. Whenever they listen to the roaring of a lion or the sounds of growl of a tiger, immediately animals become alert and they will try to protect themselves. Isn't it so? Sounds, maybe the smell, okay, all these, and even threats from the other animals, all these are the external stimuli by which animals will try to protect themselves. So we are going to learn here about the 4 different types of animal behavior. 4 different types of animal behavior. So here, now there are 4 different types of animal behavior we are going to study now. The first one is instinct. We can call it as instinctual behavior. And next one is imprinting. Third one is conditioning. And fourth one is imitation. Fourth one is imitation. So what are the four? First one is instinct. Second one is imprinting. Third one is conditioning. And fourth one is imitation. So these are the four different types of behaviors which you can see in the animals. So first of all, we will learn about the instinct. This instinctual behavior is not a kind of behavior which you learn. You get this by birth. Okay? Instinctual behaviors or instincts are not practiced. Okay? They are not taught. They are inborn. That is, when you are born, these kind of instincts are there, isn't it? So this kind of behavior is called as the instinctual behavior. So now, for example, if you take the making of the nest, so nobody will teach the bird how to make a nest. Nobody will teach a spider how to make a web. Nobody will teach fish how to swim. Nobody will tell butterfly to get the nectar. So they know it by instinct. So all these behaviors shown by the animals, which are not taught by somebody, or these are the characteristic features which they have from their birth. Okay, those are called as the instinctual behaviors. Now, for example, nobody has taught you to remove your hand when you touch a hot object. Is it taught in your school? Is it taught by your parents that when you touch a hot object, you have to immediately remove your hand? So, did you do a practical? Or if you have an ice in your hand, if you catch some ice in your hand, you have to throw it down after some time. Did somebody taught you that? No, these things are not taught. You know, you have done it without any previous knowledge. So when you have touched a hot object, immediately you remove your hand. Okay, or when you have kept your foot on a thorn, immediately you will withdraw your foot back, isn't it? Has somebody taught you that? Has somebody taught you that when you put your foot on or when some thorn pricks into your foot, you have to take your foot back? Did somebody tell you that? No. Nobody has taught us that. It happens, right? Because these are all called as the instinctual behaviors which you will show on your own. The second one, which is called as the imprinting. Right? We must have observed this kind of animal behavior, okay, in your home or in your surroundings. You might have observed the chickens and ducklings exactly walking after their birth. Immediately after their birth take place, they will try to stand on their legs, and also they will start walking. So immediately after hatching, they will start walking. So even if you see the ducks also, ducklings especially, they will swim after few days after their birth. After very few days, they will start swimming also. Okay, and also what they will do is, these are the one, okay, and moreover they also recognize their mother because of the behavior which they have, which is called as the imprinting. They are able to recognize their mother. These ducklings have come out from an egg. Okay, it has not come out from the body of an animal, isn't it? So they have directly come out from an egg, and when they come into the nature, they have to know who is their mother. So they will know their mother, they will recognize their mother because of the behavior which is called as the imprinting. So duckling will actually follow the first moving object. So whatever the first moving object it looks into, they will treat it as their mother. That is the first, after they hatch, what is the first object they see which is moving, they will take it as their mother. So they become socially connected or attached to this particular object. They become socially connected and also emotionally attached to this object. And also this method is very much important for the young animals to recognize their mother, so that they can follow them for the food and also for their protection. So that is how imprinting will help, or the behavior, which is the second type of behavior we are seeing here. It will help the animals to recognize their mothers. And sometimes, the ducklings, especially coming to the ducklings, whatever the thing which they see in the beginning, the first moving object, they will take it as their mother. That is what I learned. And if it is a moving ball, or even if a person is walking, okay, or if there's any cardboard which is being dragged. So whatever it is, if they see the first moving object, they will make sure that it is their mother. Okay, that is what is the imprinting all about. Conrad Lawrence, and he was an Australian scientist, and he studied about the animal behavior, and he had some geese with him. Okay, he had some geese with him, and also he gave them some name, right? So after they hatched, the scientists were the first moving object seen by the geese. So whenever he walked and all, like, they followed him, because now they treated him as their mother. Okay, that is what he has observed from the geese. They followed him, and they wanted themselves to stay near the scientist. So wherever he is, they used to go and stand before him, or just go along with him. That is how they got habituated. It is all because of the imprinting. So these are the two different kinds of animal behaviors which we have studied now. So first one is the instinct, and second one is the imprinting. The first one is instinct, and in the instinct we have learned that this instinct is not learned. Okay, they already know it, right? So it is not, there's no need for you to learn the instinctual behaviors. Okay, and we have also seen some examples for that. Second one is imprinting, is very important for the animals to recognize their mother. Okay, children, so today we'll stop it here, and tomorrow we'll see the next part. Until then, see you all, take care, have a great day.